I'm Molly here with Rose City RV of Michigan, and today we're going to take a look at the 2025 Wildwood Heritage Glen 265BSRB. So is this the correct model for you? You may ask. Here are 5 key specifications to help you decide. This model can sleep up to 2 people, has a weight of 7,936 pounds, has an overall length of 33 feet 2 inches, has a height of 11 feet, and features 2 slide outs. So let's take a look inside. Okay, let's start here in the bathroom. In this model name, the RB stands for rear bath and the BS stands for bed slide. So we'll start right here in the bathroom. Extra large shower here. So plenty of comfort if you're going to extended stay in this. This is getting to be the size where you could do that. Some nice storage here next to the shower that we like. So lots of linen space and stuff. And then light switch here, which I know seems a little crazy to talk about light switches, but a lot of RVs just have push button lights, so light switches are definitely a added bonus. Moving around, you can notice lots of counter space, so lots of places to put your bathroom amenities. Underneath it here, you have a little space here. I always thought that was kind of a good space for shoes, but you can put whatever you wanted there. Then we've got some nice storage up underneath here, underneath the sinks. Large backlit mirror, so it feels extra big in here. The lighting's really nice, little shelves there, so you have some places to get your stuff out of the way. An additional light switch for that backlit mirror. And then right here we have our on-demand water heater controls right in the bathroom. I think that's the best location for these because that's kind of where you're going to want to adjust that for shower. We do have an additional video about that if you're interested. And then they also put the towel ring on here, so you can hang that hand towel right there. You don't have to worry about screwing into the walls. It's already installed for you. Couple air ducts, and then the roof vent fan right there with a little 12-volt fan, so you can use that to exhaust that moisture. And then we have the skylight in the shower, gives you that little bit of headroom as well. So like I mentioned, extra large shower. Moving out of the bathroom, next to the monitor panel here, we have our JBL sound system. So that's going to be a Bluetooth setup. Very nice sound system, actual legitimate indoor-outdoor speakers. Pretty much the best I've seen in the RV business so far, so I'm glad to see we've made some adjustments there. We've got all our light switches and our tank heater switches located right there. Our water pump switch is there as well, so if you're camping where you don't have a water hookup, you can click that. It's nice to have everything all in one place, which anymore you're starting to see a lot of. Freshwater levels, all our tank monitors there. These are generic panels, so sometimes you'll have extra buttons. This does not have 2 black tanks or 3 gray tanks, but it does have 2 gray tanks and 1 black tank. So moving down here, we've got dual slide outs and then awning controls there as well. And then I really like this dimmer switch here, so you can see these lights as they kind of go down and then back up, and then the main on-off switch. So the lighting that they use in these has gone over really well. It's really easy on the eyes, which is nice, and you can dim that down if you want. And then we've got our brown leather that really is an added touch to the gold and the black fixtures. We've got the flip down here, the reclining, and then you get an outlet right here, which is nice as well. And some device charging, USB-C and regular USB there, so you can charge up. You can also flip that so you can lay down on this, which is definitely nice. That's something we hear, is that people want to be able to lay down if the option is there, so that's cool. Lots of counter space. For a mid-kitchen, you a lot of times give up the counter space, but as you notice, there's no dinette in here. More and more people are getting away from dinettes. You got 2 chairs here, so you have a place to sit in side if the weather's bad and you're not interested in eating outside, but most people spend their time outside, so the dinettes have kind of made their way out in some models, which I prefer. I think this space is used better like this than anything. You get all this counter space, so even if you weren't eating in here, you were serving like a buffet style to you and your campground friends, and you want to take that outside, there's plenty of space to cook and set that up. Also have 3 very nice big kitchen drawers here. So that's nice. And then big under sink storage as well. And then I like how they left that open. They used to put the door on there, but I think the space is just better used while it's open. These little hooks here, I'm not sure what that's exactly used for, if that is a like paper towel holder or something, but we'll look into that. Then we have a nice big window here for the campsite side, so we get that natural daylight with the square windows, the wood trim. Just got that clean residential look and a way to pass that air through there. We've got the oven here. As you see, we have it kind of lit up. When you turn these on, they illuminate red, which is super nice, so you know that they're on. And they'll even do that when this light's off, so it'll still get you lit up red there. So I like that, so you know if you accidentally bump it. And then you've got the oven there, and we have the 3-burner cooktop with the glass top, so you can use this as countertop space when you're not using it as well. So that's cool. And then we have the big farmhouse style sink, which has really gone over well. The gold fixtures there add just kind of that little bit of touch, and then they add the gold here to kind of tie it all in. And then the TV is directly across from that theater seating there, so it's nice and comfortable. They don't give you a small TV, so you can get that nice big view there. Then we have our 12-volt Furrion refrigerator. This is going to be a 10 cube. Lots of space. They've been doing this forever, so nothing new there at this point. And then larger freezer space as well. Moving over here, more storage. So more kitchen storage, lots of storage here, like I mentioned, for a mid-kitchen. Then next to the bedroom here, we have our Coleman Mach thermostat. So we do have this options with dual air conditioners. This one's going to have the ceiling controls. I do believe that these come standard now with dual airs. Northern Michigan, not really necessary, but if you are camping somewhere in the south, it's definitely nice. Just walking into this bedroom here, first thing I noticed is that nice mirror, just because it kind of jumps out with the light. But also the dresser space. You get a nice 7-drawer setup there with a little stool, so you can use that to put your shoes on, do your makeup, whatever you need to do. But you have nice countertop space on top of the dresser also. And then next to that, we have a large window to let that daylight in when you are getting ready. So that is nice. And then inside the bedroom slide here, that really opens up this bedroom area and allows you to be able to get some daylight into these side windows. These are much bigger than the other ones that I've seen out there as far as windows and slides go. So nice daylight. And people might say, well, why do you want daylight in the bedroom where you're trying to sleep? Well, you also have to get ready in here, so that just kind of is an added bonus. Then they put a little shelving on top here for whatever you might need there. And then we've got some storage underneath the bed here. That's going to go to the outside compartment on that side. And then on this side, you're going to have some storage bins, so you can do whatever you want with them. You could eliminate those and put totes in there. The options are kind of there. They put a little lip there to hold those in. So, like I said, you could change that if you wanted to, but those baskets seem to work out pretty good. And then moving to the front side of the coach here, we have these nice big black barn door styles with gold hardware as well to match the rest of the coach. And then extra large front closet here. We didn't have the lights on, so I apologize. It might be kind of dark, but towel or clothing bar there, so you can hang up all your clothes. They put a little cubby there to give you more shelf space. Then up top, you could also put a washer and dryer in here. So lots of options, lots of space. I've seen people put like animal beds in here. Whatever you guys want to do, the options are there because the space is huge. Everybody's got different needs and wants, so that kind of helps that scenario. All right, so that's going to do it for the inside. Let's go check out the outside. Okay, so this is a 21-foot awning, so super long awning. They put the middle brace in there, which is definitely needed. I like that they do that. Just kind of helps support that roller tube when it's not in use. Stops you from getting that sag over time, so that's nice. It just gives you this huge awning space here on the door side when you are camping out. I mean, everybody cares about the door side, which makes sense, or the campsite side is what we call it. So lots of space for the awning there. Now, looking at this, you can tell, we mentioned this quite a bit, but they have square windows on the exterior. Well, obviously on the interior too, but it just really has a nice, clean looking application. Tinted windows as well, so you don't have to worry about people being able to see in the daylight. At night, though, you're going to want to use those blinds. Moving along here, we've got a exterior spray port there, so you can spray off whatever you need to while you're camping. You can hook up an exterior TV. We've got a cable port and a 110 outlet there. Okay, moving over here, we have our furnace exhaust. Not my favorite place for the furnace exhaust. When this is on, it's hot. If you don't camp ever in cold weather, not an issue. Moving over here, we have our outside refrigerator. So they're kind of doing this on all their models, Heritage Glen is regardless. Back in the day, you never could get an outside kitchen or even an outside refrigerator if you weren't buying a bunkhouse. Now they're trying to find ways to integrate those into couples coaches too, because they're really just a necessity. Like I said, most people spend their time outside, so why not have that outside so you're not making 17 trips inside trying to get all your things. Looking back now here, you can kind of see the tire and axle placement. This is going to be a wide stance setup. These do tow super nice for a standard axle. So I really like that part. Kind of gives you that more stability in the ride. Up here we have our dog tie area. If you don't have a dog, it's just kind of useless. But other than that, it's just a nice add-on. This little hole right here is going to be the manual override for the bed slide on the opposite side of the coach. And then also the spare tire. I'm sorry, one of these is going to be spare tire, one of these is going to be slide. I'm not sure which ones without looking there. And then we have power stabilizers front and rear. So there's the switch for that. And then there's an additional one in the rear for the back one. This is going to be some front storage that goes underneath of that huge hanging closet area that we showed you, that we said the options are kind of endless in there because it is such a big area. But it's cool that they also give you this big outdoor storage area with that. So that's nice. And as you can see here, this unit does come with a outside griddle, which is also nice. Moving over here, we have two 20-pound propane tanks. We have a power tongue jack, as you're seeing on most things. We've got a little light on the front of that, which is probably too hard to see in the daylight. A little 7-way bracket and chain holder here, so you can keep those out of the dirt and dust by just simply putting them there. Looking at the front cap, it's nice in silver. I really like the color that they went to. And then the LED light strips on there are just kind of an added look for at night. Just kind of helps keep your campsite nice and bright there, so you're not running into the front of it in the middle of the night. Then we've got the other side of that storage access, and then Heritage Glen always puts their battery disconnect switch right here on the driver's side. That's another bonus. They're in the same spot every time, and they're always on the driver's side, so nice and easy when you're parking and such. And then we have our solar controller here, which kind of keeps it out of the way as well. And then we have our outside storage underneath of the bed here. Okay, so this goes underneath of the bed here, all the way in. We had some rain yesterday, really hard rain, so we got a little water in that track area, no problem there. Okay, so this unit does have 3 gray tanks. It's only gonna have 1 black tank, but it does have 3 gray tanks. They put the washer dryer prep on its own gray discharge, so you can keep that separate from your other tank, so you're not wasting that space if you are deciding to do laundry, so I like that option. Then over here we have an additional gray, so that is 3 gray tanks and 1 black tank here. This is going to be just for the shower. So the shower, the kitchen, the washer dryer are all on their own tank. So if you are extended stay camping where you don't have full hookup, that is a huge benefit. And then we have our 50 amp power hook up there. Like I mentioned before, this does have dual air conditioners, so you do have to have 50 amp if you want to run both at the same time. So you don't have to have 50 amp. You can use 30 amp. You just toggle between what air conditioner you want. You just can't run them both at the same time. So still able to use that if you want to. Then this is going to be the on-demand water heater. Our master control switches out here. We pointed out where the interior controls and temperature adjustment are. We have a lot of these on-demands out there now. Very little complaints with them, so I'm very excited about that. It's nice when a new product goes over well. And then we've got hot and cold on the outside here, so you can take an outside shower if you'd like to. And then we have city water connection, so if the campground has water on site at the camp, at each individual campsite, that's where you'll hook up to feed your water into the coach and directly use the pressure from that. Your freshwater connection will allow you to fill the freshwater tank, and you'll run the water pump to use that one. And then the black tank flush here sprays at a high pressure rate inside your black tank, kind of helps break up that debris and helps your monitor panels read right. So that's a nice thing too. The cable inlet here, or satellite inlet, so if you're at a place that offers that, you can hook up there. And then obviously license plate and light bracket there. Looking up here, we have our observation camera. And then we also have our on-the-go ladder rack receiver bracket there. So they are starting to kind of get away from exterior ladders. They're putting those brackets on, and then if you're interested, you can get the on-the-go ladder system. It is much more user-friendly for people. It goes on the ground, it's on an angle, it's not that straight up and down. And they'll also take more weight. So that's definitely an added bonus. We do have a video for that if you want to check that out. But that's going to do it for our 265 Heritage Glen. If you've got questions, please let us know.